This is Yosei Sakura, the cherry blossom fairy of positivity. Now, a few weeks ago, I had read a couple of myths and legends from Japanese folklore. Now, today I would like to read a couple more for you because I find these especially thought-provoking. Okay? One is the tongue-cut sparrow. A cross old woman was at her washtub when her neighbor's pet sparrow ate up all the starch, mistaking it for ordinary food. The old woman was so angry at what had happened that she cut out the sparrow's tongue, and the unfortunate bird flew away to a mountain. When the old couple to whom the sparrow belonged heard what had taken place, they left their home and journeyed a great distance until they had the good fortune to find their pet again. The sparrow was no less delighted to meet his master and mistress, and begged them to enter his house. When they had done so, they were feasted with an abundance of fish and sake, and waited upon by the sparrow's wife, children, and grandchildren. And not content with these deeds of hospitality, the feathered host danced a jig called the Sparrow's Dance. When it was time for the old couple to return home, the sparrow brought forth 2 wicker baskets, saying, "One is heavy and the other is light. Which one would you rather have?" "Oh, the light one," replied the old couple, "for we are aged and the journey is a long one." When the old people reached their home, they opened the basket and to their delight and amazement discovered gold and silver jewels and silk. As fast as they took the precious things out, an inexhaustible supply came to their place, so that the wonderful basket of treasure could not be emptied, and the happy old couple grew rich and prosperous. It was not long before the old woman who had cut out the sparrow's tongue heard about the good fortune of her neighbors, and she hastened to inquire where this wonderful sparrow was for her to see him. Having gained the information, she had no difficulty in finding the sparrow. When the bird saw her, he asked which of the 2 baskets she would prefer to take away with her, the heavy or the light one. The cruel and greedy old woman chose the heavy one, believing that this basket would contain more treasure than the light one. But when, after much labor, she returned home and opened it, devils sprang out, and they tore her to pieces. Now, this is a great way to warn against being greedy and coveting what others have. The next one is a noble sacrifice. There was once a man who was extremely fond of shooting birds. He had 2 daughters, good Buddhists, and each in turn pointed out the folly of their father's cruel sport and begged him not to destroy life wantonly. However, the man was obstinate and would not listen to his daughters. One day, a neighbor asked him to shoot 2 storks, and he promised to do so. When the women heard what their father was about to do, they said, "Let us dress in pure white garments and go down upon the shore tonight, for it is a place much frequented by storks. If our father should kill either of us by mistake for the birds, It will teach him a lesson, and he will surely repent his evil ways, which are contrary to the gentle teachings of the Lord Buddha. That night, the man went to the shore, and the cloudy sky made it difficult for him to discover any storks. At last, however, he saw two white objects in the distance. He fired. The bodies fell immediately, and he ran to where they lay, only to discover that he had shot both his noble, self-sacrificing daughters. Stricken with sorrow, the man erected a funeral pyre and burnt the bodies of his poor children. Having done these things, he shaved his head, went into the woods, and became a hermit. Now, this is also a great tale because it helps you to understand that you can't just wantonly go around and destroy things, be it life, property, possessions. You have to be careful with things like that, because much like what his daughters had been telling him, that it wasn't good for him to just, willy-nilly go around shooting the birds. And in the end, he paid the ultimate price. But that's why I like these myths and legends from the Asian culture. They teach a lot of very good lessons, and I just find them very intriguing and thought-provoking. I hope that you enjoyed hearing them. Periodically, I will be putting up more videos of these, doing just a couple stories at a time, just to give you a little bit of background. And it also helps us to understand how other cultures teach different values and how their histories and the things that are in their myths and legends can be similar to ours or maybe different from ours. But no matter what, it all helps to shape us all into good individuals. I hope everyone will have a wonderful day. Stay positive.